this moment. I'm driving, going up into the mountains. You know, it's amazing. Mountains are synonymous to worship. Mountains are synonymous to God's sanctuary. If you notice the amount of time that mountains are mentioned in the Bible, it's always one of worship, religious connotation. And so, when you also need peace and rest, you go into the mountains. So, I'm driving, beautiful scenery, God's nature, going up into the mountains. One of the things that you realize, Ezekiel 28, Isaiah 14, it was Lucifer who became Satan, who was contending for the mountain. If you also recall the battle between David and Goliath, you'll notice that both nations, the Israelites and the Philistines, they were also on mountains. But in order for David to destroy the mountain of the enemy, what happened? He went down into the valley. Wow. In order for us to be victorious over the enemy, we must go down in humility, even on our knees. Yes, to pray, to agonize, to talk to the Lord, so that He can do what? He can strengthen us, get us ready for the battle. Yes. And by the way, the battle is raging. The battle is raging. And the battle that we're in is not a human to human battle. It's a spiritual warfare. Ephesians 6 and verse 12, it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood." It's a spiritual battle. And friends, this battle is far more dangerous than human to human combat. Because in this battle, this is really life and death. Not just death in the grave, but death in terms of being eternally lost. And so, I'm going up into the mountain. Oh yes, oh yes. That quietness, that tranquility, to hear the voice of God even more distinctly. So please, all of us must get ready for our mountains. The valleys are always low. Going to the valley is significant in going on our knees. But there comes a time when we must arise and go into the mountains. Earth has no sorrows that heaven cannot heal. We serve an awesome God, a God who truly loves us, a God who truly cares. Yes, He does. He's a God of love, pity, compassion, merciful, and the list goes on. But you know what He says in Exodus 34 and verse 7? But He will not clear the guilty. He will not what? He will not clear the guilty. How do we become guilty? Well, the wages of sin is. The wages of sin is what? Is death. And all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. I hope and trust this wilderness, this mountain experience will be one that we shall never forget. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Walk with the King. Maranatha.